So, this podcast is going to be probably pretty serious. Not like the previous ones were nothing but chuckle fest. But um, old cunty McFuckface over here got accused of being a harasser of women, an abuser of women, uh, sexist. Um, what else? I don't know. Whatever the derogatory term you can come up with that feminists use to accuse guys when they disagree with them, because that's all I'm guilty of doing is disagreeing. But let me set the stage for you. Okay, so I'm on Twitter, of course, and you know how those the hashtag Me Too um, thing is going around, where women are they kind of come together and they're sharing their experiences, um, and I mean it's kind of, I mean, it's fucking frightening that that so many women go through such horrific shit. And see, this is how I know that these women on Twitter, I know that they don't. I mean, I don't expect them to know who I am. I mean, I'm just some fucking random jackass that got their dander up. But if they listen to my podcast, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not the last one. I don't know. You could listen to the last one. I think it's pretty clear in any podcast that I make, whenever I talk about like women's issues or whatever, that if there's one person or one man that definitely understands what you're going through, but at the same time, no, I don't know. Where was it? Where should I go with that? I mean, I have a daughter that I treat like a absolute princess, but I also make a point to make sure that she doesn't experience any of that sort of, girls can do this and only boys can do that stuff. I mean, I've taught her how to change the oil on a car, not on her car. She's only 13. Change the tire, do a tune-up, change the brakes. I taught her how to throw a baseball, how to throw a football. I've also instilled in her that, because she's an attractive little girl, that it's important that, while it's great that that you are attractive, that you must also, how can I say this? You must also be able to use your brain, and and first and foremost, you should always be a good person. If any of these women that made these accusations knew anything about me, which, granted, I don't expect them to. Obviously, they look at my my Twitter account, and I've got the middle finger as my avatar. They look at the fact that I'm not just immediately jumping on board with the poor you, and they assume that I'm just some sort of fucking asshole. I get it. I 100% understand it. But the problem is that if they knew me, or if they've listened to this podcast, they'd know that what they're accusing me of, or what they accused me of doing, is horseshit. So let me just explain what the fuck happened. I think I've mentioned part of this in a previous podcast, but so basically, there's that hashtag Me Too fucking shit going on, and then there's this lady that she tweets out that that she was sexually abused because her um, husband, who's now her ex-husband, ejaculated into her and got her pregnant. Now, I know that's very rudimentary. So let me make it a little bit more clear. She agreed to have sex with this guy because, I assume it's because it's her husband. She was, I assume, although she's never offered any clarity here, I assume that this was sort of like, breakup sex. And, and she got pregnant, or she got pregnant, ended up getting an abortion, but apparently the guy, according to her, said, that he meant to get her pregnant or some shit. I don't know. Now, on the surface, you could say, yeah, well, the guy's a dick. If that's what he did, the guy's a dick. I 100% agree with that. But, and here's what got their fucking dander up. When two people have sex, whether it's a guy and a girl or I guess it's just a guy and a girl or a guy and a guy, because, women can't really penetrate each other with anything other than fingers and toys. But when you agree to have sex with somebody, it's up to both of you to be responsible for, protection. If your concern is, you don't want to get pregnant, then you should probably make sure that the guy that you're having sex with, is wearing a condom. Now, I had said throughout my back and forth with this lady and others that, had it been a case of he was wearing, I didn't say it specifically, but if he had fucked with the protection, right? Like he had poked holes through the condoms or told her she was wearing, that he was wearing one and then he fucking took it off. I think they call it I don't know. There's a new term for it. I don't remember what it is. But if he had done that, then I'd be 100% on board on her side. But what happened was, I guess apparently they were doing the pull-out method, which, I assume that her, or at least her little minions, are listening. So hopefully I can make it a little bit more clear. I know that sometimes context is lost via Twitter or text. So the pull-out method is not an effective method for pregnancy prevention. And I guess that's the form of protection that they were, using. So, maybe he busts a nut on purpose. Again, this is just, I don't know. I don't want to say it's her word, because if that's what he did, then that's what he did. But you still carry some responsibility for making sure, like if you don't want to get pregnant or you don't want to catch a sexually transmitted disease, then it's up to you and not just the guy to make sure that doesn't happen. If you were worried about getting pregnant, you should have made him wear a condom or not had sex with him. Maybe he had some nefarious plan, although it's a little strange that he would assume, like, what, all this time that we've been married and I apparently I fucking I've pulled out this time. I know for certain that if I how can I say this without being crude? I don't know. Fucking ejaculate. That sounds so clinical. I hate fucking saying it, but he was so certain that this last little fucking run, was gonna work. There's something about the story to me that doesn't seem, I don't know, there's something fucking fishy. But regardless of that, the thing is, I've never said that the guy was, innocent. He could be a dick. Sounds like a dick. If even half of what she said is true, then the guy's a fucking dick. I'm 100% with you there. But that does not absolve you of your responsibility, your shared responsibility. I would say the same thing if it were a dude, right? If it was a dude complaining that, that fucking he didn't want to get, or he didn't want any kids or whatever, and then he, went fucking raw inside a girl and, ejaculated, ugh. Then it's also his fucking fault. Or if it's a case of, she said that, oh, I'm on the pill or whatever, and she fucking didn't take it, whether on purpose or not. It's still up to him to also take care of that, of preventing pregnancy or disease or whatever. It is up to both people. And this is the thing that this lady and her little minions never seem to want to accept. Instead it was, there's, I don't know, one lady said that consent is fluid and all this other fucking horse shit. And it's like, no matter what excuse or how much you try and make it seem like you had no skin in the game, I'm never going to agree that you're 100% a victim here, because you agreed to have sex with him. Now, if he had forced you to have sex, then yeah, I would say, if he had forced you to have sex, then we wouldn't even have had the discussion, because it would have been, obviously that's fucking abuse. If you were scared into having sex with him, abuse again. But as far as I know, at least based on the tweet, it seemed like you were all on board with having sex, and then you got a little, going away prize that you didn't fucking want. And then you had to get an abortion, and you're upset with him because that happened. And yeah, he shouldn't have came in you, but you also should have made sure that he was wearing protection. It's not a case of, protection is always on guys. And the same thing goes for guys. You shouldn't always expect, the girl to have taken the pill or to be wearing the fucking patch or have that IUD or any of the other fucking things. And I mean, like a little extra thing for guys, for men that are listening to me. I mean, obviously, if you're a young guy and you haven't had kids yet, then this doesn't apply to you. But if you are somebody that's decided, I mean, even if you are young, if you decided you don't want to have kids, then just go get fucking neutered. Don't put your woman through, having to take fucking pills or, have things inserted inside them. Don't put them through that shit, because it fucks with their hormones. When they're on the pill, it, sometimes it prevents them from having, and I don't know, maybe it's all the time. Obviously I'm not a woman, so I don't know this for certain. I've just sort of heard it through discussions with ladies that, when they're on the pill, that sometimes it stops their monthly thing, which is, for the whole reason that women have the period. Well, it's not the only reason, but part of the reason that women have periods is it's sort of an internal cleansing, and taking the pill can disrupt that. So if you're certain that you don't want to have kids anymore, fellas, then go get snipped. It's not that big of a deal. It takes like 15 minutes. In, out. And if you're like, well, why can't she go get her fucking tubes tied? Because in order for her to get her tubes tied, it's like an incredibly invasive fucking surgery. Versus you sit down in a chair and they make a, like not even a half-inch incision in your nutsack, which I know it sounds horrific. I've had it done. And I'm not going to say that it fucking didn't, it didn't hurt. It hurt a little bit, but not as bad as you're imagining it. And to be honest with you, I was only really sore for like half a day. And after that, I was good to go. It takes 15 minutes to do that versus having her or forcing her to go to the hospital and go through this like, incredibly invasive surgery. So fellas, you're just as responsible for shit as the ladies. But for some reason, with these ladies that I'm arguing with or was arguing with on Twitter, it's like they refuse to take any sort of responsibility for what happened. And then of course you have the sort of residual women, the minions, that have decided that they are now going to speak for her and act as if they were in the room when this all transpired. And at the end of the fucking day, I'm being called a harasser, and that I'm insensitive, and that I'm the reason fucking rape culture exists. And it's a lot of fucking horse shit. And what it really kind of boiled down to after a while was they just wanted me to, because I was literally getting fucking messages left and right from about 5 or 6 different women, all upset with me. And it boiled down to, I got the one last fucking message that I even looked at. I'm sure that they're still messaging me. I don't really give a shit. The last one I looked at, this lady was like, "Why can't you just say you're wrong?" And I'm like, that is the reason why I won't, because it isn't about, it isn't the fact that I'm not making valid points. It isn't about that. You just want to fucking beat me down into submission just so you can feel a victory. And I'm sorry, I will never do that. I will never, ever just give in because you are a lady. If you're wrong, then you're wrong. It's okay to disagree with you. In case you're listening, it is okay for a man to disagree with a woman about things. In this instance, I disagree that the fact that you got pregnant after you decided to have sex with a guy, I disagree that you're not partly responsible for that. If you agreed to have sex with him, if you allowed him to go into, to penetrate you without a condom on, and you're banking on him, kind of fucking rolling the dice on whether or not he's going to be a dick, that's on you. It's also on him, but it's also on you. And that's why I will never just say, all right, you're right, because you're not right. Now, if you feel violated, fine. You can feel violated, but from what I read, it doesn't really equate to being violated. Because you could have prevented that shit from happening from the beginning. You could have said, you know what, I don't want to have sex with you. You could have made him put on a condom. You could have done those things, and yes, he could have done those things as well. But that's my point. Both of you are responsible for preventing pregnancy. So you can't, so this plain as victim card, I can't do it. I can't fucking agree with that. And when I got that message, why can't you just say you're sorry? No, I'm not going to, because I'm not wrong here. Both people are responsible. Now, if it's like I said, if it was a case of he forced you to, or you were scared that if you didn't, that, something was going to happen, if you were coerced, then yeah, okay, fine. But if you agreed to have sex, I'm sorry, you are just as responsible for making sure that you don't get pregnant as he is. And it's wrong for you to just put it all on guys. Because, girls do this all the time, right? I mean, guys do it too. I don't want to give the impression that I think it's only women out there. Guys are guilty of this shit too. We say stupid shit like, oh, let me put, just the tip in. And, we know that we have no intention of just the tip. Although if you are the kind of guy that does that type of shit and, you put the tip in and you decide to go even further, then yeah, technically you are now violating that woman. I will 100% agree with that. That's something that, I've never fucking done, but I know that fucking guys do that shit. And if if the lady that I was, going back and forth with, or any of her minions are listening, just go back and look and listen to other podcasts. You will see that it is not a case of I want to blame the fucking victim or I want to harass somebody or abuse somebody. I come at it from basically, just a logical fucking sense that if you agree to have sex with a person, you are also agreeing to be partly responsible for preventing pregnancy and the spread of, sexually transmitted disease. You are, it's two people having sex, not one guy or not one person having sex with, an inanimate. Oh God, I can't fucking talk today. It's not a guy having sex with, with a fucking doll. You have just as much responsibility for your well-being as he has for his and yours as well. That's why I won't just be like, okay, you're right, you were right, because it's like at this point you're not even really you're not concerned about whether or not what I'm saying is valid. You just want me, to fucking bow down and and submit. And I assume that you and and of course this is an assumption, so take it with a grain of salt. But you and the other ladies that were bombarding me with fucking bullshit yesterday, I assume that you're the type of women that just I don't know. I assume that you're with the type of guys that just after a while, after you've browbeat them, they'll finally just be like, fine, you're right, whatever. And that's the thing. I'll never do it. Because first of all, I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not your husband. So I don't need to fucking, submit to you. And if your only fucking argument, I said this in Twitter, if your only position in this debate or whatever it is you can't disagree with me because I'm a girl, then you don't have a fucking leg to stand on. You really don't. You might feel violated. And I will agree that, okay, yeah, if you feel that way, you feel that way. I can't deny you that. But the reality is that somebody didn't just make you pregnant. You allowed that guy to have sex with you. You decided to not take any step whatsoever to make sure that you didn't get pregnant after that. Yes, he's a dick for if he agreed that he wasn't going to fucking bust a nut in you and he still did. Yeah, he's a dick. But that doesn't remove your responsibility. And that's all I was getting at. And that's the whole reason why I will never just be like, fine. Because I don't have any reason to, because your argument is based on nothing but bullshit. And the fact that you fucking make these like retweets where you sort of just pick you cherry pick shit that I say and you leave out the fucking context of the entire fucking discussion, all in this fucking desire to make it appear as though I'm one of these fucking Neanderthalic men that actually think that a woman deserves it when she gets whatever. It's fucking horseshit. Anybody that listens to my podcast knows that is not me in any shape or form. There's a reason that I taught my daughter how to basically be self-sufficient. It's not because, I'm worried about some guy taking advantage. It's just because I realized that, just because she's a girl doesn't mean that she's fucking helpless. It doesn't mean that she doesn't need to learn certain things. Yeah, will she ever have a realistic need to be able to throw a football or a baseball? No. But I always thought that chicks that can fucking do those things are pretty cool. I don't necessarily dig women that that are like super fucking heavy into sports, but if you can throw a baseball or a football, that's fucking cool. That means we can play catch. And that's what my daughter and I do. When my son decides that he doesn't want to play catch. So, miss me with this, I'm fucking responsible for the rape culture shit, because it's horse shit. Absolute fucking horse shit. I just will not fucking, I'm just one of these fucking people that's like, look, you either take responsibility for your part in shit or you shut the fuck up. And there's this thing. I mean, it's fucking horrific. This, this Me Too, stuff that's going on, and this Harvey Weinstein, and all. It's fucking horrific. It makes me really fucking concerned for my daughter. But at the same time, there are some people that I am 100% certain are just making shit up because they see an opportunity to garner a little bit of attention off of the misery of others. Am I saying that you are the one, that you're guilty of this? No, I'm not saying that. I think that you genuinely think that, that you have no skin in the game as far as you getting pregnant and eventually having to get an abortion. I think that you actually believe that. But the thing is, I don't know. I guess I could have left it alone. I guess I couldn't have. I could have just not said fucking anything. I am a fucking cunt. I agree with that. I make no bones about that. Sometimes I open my mouth when, maybe it's better to just shut the fuck up. I'll fair enough. But to label me, something that I'm absolutely not is, for me, that's kind of where I drew the line. It's just like, you're not going to fucking accuse me of fucking, something that I'm not, just because you don't want to admit that you have some responsibility in making sure that you don't get pregnant. You share some of that. It's two people having sex. So, it's a 50-50 split on, making sure that you don't end up with fucking parting gifts. But anyway, that's the end of that. I'm not going to continue on any further with that. Maybe they're listening, maybe they're not. I don't know. Who gives a shit either way? I'm just, I don't know. It's just fucking, I don't know. Well, I said I wasn't going to fucking talk about it anymore. So I'm done. I got a fucking, I got an email from the university. And I guess they're having a, what is it? Like, prepare for fucking earthquake shit. Because, unlike Boston, in California, they, why am I saying this like nobody fucking knows that there's earthquakes in California? I guess you gotta fucking, prepare in case some shit happens. And I don't know, I got this email like, oh, we're doing the big, what the fuck did they call it? The Great Shakeout. And, I don't know, I found it fucking hilarious because, the first, step, right, in, what you're supposed to do if an earthquake fucking strikes is, it says, during an earthquake, drop down onto your hands and knees. What? So you can pray that you don't fucking get smashed by the ceiling? Who the fuck is getting on their hands and knees? If an earthquake happens, I'm running. I'm running outside. I'm getting clear of any sort of fucking debris that might fall on me and kill me or cripple me. I'm not fucking getting on my hands and knees and getting under a fucking table or a desk. I've seen people sit on desks and the entire thing fucking collapse. You're telling me it's gonna hold up the weight of the fucking entire building? Go fuck yourself. Get on my hands and knees. Fuck no, I'm getting the fuck out. If I have to throw a chair through the window and jump out of the building, I'm doing that. I'm not fucking taking cover under, a fucking desk that, that people have fucking, put their gum and boogers on. I'm not doing it. I'm getting the fuck out. So, you won't catch me if I happen to be at the university. I don't know why I keep saying the university. Fucking school. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to make it seem like I'm fancy or some shit. But, if I happen to be at school and an earthquake happens, I'll be the one guy that's running out of the fucking room. I don't know. I had an old man moment. This is how I know I'm getting old, right? So the other day I'm driving. I don't know. I think I just dropped off my son, or I was on my way to pick him up. I'm not really sure which. And I saw this kid. Well, it's not really a kid. He's, probably about 18, 19. I don't know if that qualifies as a kid. He's walking down the street, and he's doing this weird fucking, I don't know, the way he's walking is fucking weird, right? I see him from a distance, so as I get closer, I realize that the whole reason he's walking fucking weird is because he's fucking got his pants sagging below his fucking ass. Now, ordinarily, this would not fucking bug me, but I had my my old man moment, and it was just like, pull up your fucking pants. Like, it can't possibly be comfortable trying to walk down the street and, and stride so that your pants don't completely come the fuck down. And on top of that, he's wearing skinny jeans. You don't fucking sag skinny jeans, fellas. You don't. It looks stupid. It looks like you bought a pair of jeans that just don't fit you. I get it if they're big and baggy. But, obviously nobody really wears that type of shit anymore. That makes sense. If your shit's baggy and it's sagging, I understand. Because, obviously the pants are too big. But if they're fucking skinny jeans and they're sagging off your ass, all it looks like, even if they fit fine, all it looks like is you bought a pair of fucking pants that are like 3 sizes too fucking small for you and you can't get them over your ass. It's like, it's not even functional. And the thing is that, only a few years ago, I used to fucking sag my pants. I understand it. I'm not so fucking old that I don't get it. Sometimes it feels like it fits better or it's looser or some fucking shit. I don't know. But it's not functional at all. It's not functional. If you need to run, if your pants are baggy, at least you can pick them up. You can pull them back up over your fucking waist and get moving pretty fucking quickly if you need to. But I imagine that if you're wearing fucking skinny jeans, where it can be a little difficult sometimes to get them over that last little fucking hump. I don't know. It's not fucking functional. And the fact that it bugged me even for a second, it was just like, God, you're such a fucking old man now. Who gives a shit how this guy or this kid fucking wears his pants? Why the fuck do you care? And it just suddenly dawned on me why, like my mom or, other people in the neighborhood would be like, pull up your fucking pants. I get it now. It's just something that comes with getting older. You're just like, fuck. For me now, it's all about function. I still have fashion sense. I'm not one of these people that will just wear whatever the fuck. And I do own skinny jeans. But for me, it's also, on top of being fashionable, it must be functional. I must be fucking comfortable. And for the guys out there that, are still like the last fucking holdouts on skinny jeans that are like, you're talking about you want to be comfortable. How could it be comfortable wearing fucking pants that tight? The thing about skinny jeans, fellas, for those of you that haven't fucking put them on, is they're actually pretty fucking comfortable. And a lot of them have, they look like, they are jeans, but they have a little bit of a fucking stretch to them. So they're not as tight as you would think. Obviously there's some that, if you buy them too fucking small and it's, they're so fucking tight that you're wondering whether or not you'll ever be able to fucking father another kid or father a kid, then, yeah, those are too fucking tight. But they make them in your fucking size. It's not like, like you have to, it's not, skinny jeans are not like jeans that are just too fucking small for you. They're just a fucking brand and they fit better. You don't have to get the ones that are like, I think they call them spray-ons, where it looks basically like you're wearing fucking tights. Those are not a good look for a dude. I know that some people will disagree and be like, well, if you got, if your legs are muscular or whatever, it's not a good look. It isn't a fucking good look. What the hell is that shit? Oh, my fucking God, my fucking fax machine. I don't know why the fuck I have a fax machine. I really don't. But I don't know, that's when you get to work from home, you gotta have fucking a fax machine apparently. But I don't know. Back to the skinny jeans conversation. Well, is it a conversation? Because it's not like you guys have any choice in what I talk about. It's not like you'd be like, hey, can we discuss the the situation in North Korea? I don't know. If I don't feel like talking about North Korea, then we're not going to talk about fucking North Korea. So just pipe down there. But yeah, the skin. Give them a fucking try. Sometimes you have to be a little I don't know, daring. Because before I bought them, I was like, I don't know, that's not really for me. But then I was watching, what the fuck? I was watching something on fucking YouTube. It's some guy that does like, I don't know. He's like a fucking not a fashion designer, but he's just, he's really into fucking men's fashion and shit. And he's making some good points about clothing choice. And I decided to fucking try it out. So I got, I bought a few pairs at first, and and I started kind of, making sure that my clothes fit the way that they are supposed to fit. And it turns out that, I've always been a fairly stylish person, but it turns out that I've only done, I've only managed to, I don't know, increase my fucking, my toolkit of fashion. What the fuck am I talking about? Who am I? Fucking Martha Stewart over here? I don't know. I had a fucking idea for a movie. I don't know what was. I was watching. I don't know. I'm kind of a fucking dork. I watch fucking video game playthroughs sometimes on YouTube. And, I know it sounds stupid watching somebody else play a fucking video game, but you'd be surprised at how entertaining it can be, assuming that the person playing it is personable, and has charisma or, a really good fucking personality. Did I just give you like 3 examples of the exact same shit? You know what I'm talking about. It can be entertaining. It can be interesting, Obviously, if you don't give a shit about video games, then, it probably isn't going to be entertaining to you at all. It's not going to be interesting. You're going to be like, what the fuck am I watching here? But if you are somebody that, plays the occasional fucking video game, these walkthroughs that they do sometimes are fucking, they're interesting to fucking watch. And I was watching this guy, his YouTube channel, by the way, is X Chase Money 2. I was watching him play, the fuck is it? The Evil Within 2, right? That just came out. And for those of you that don't know what the game is about, it's basically, it's basically kind of like a zombie slash fucking, I don't know, it's a horror game. There's zombies in it. There's ghosts and weird fucking shit. It's a good fucking game. I recommend, if you're interested, or if it even sounds mildly fucking interesting to you, I suggest you at least just, watch somebody do a walkthrough. But anyway, I was watching that shit and I got an idea for, got an idea for a movie. And, it is a zombie movie, but, and this is where you can tell that I'm borrowing heavily from this game, because in the movie, like the main fucking protagonist, his daughter is missing. It's basically this sort of what do they call it? Fuck, man. Spit it out. Like an apocalypse type of fucking situation, right? Where, everything's all fucked up and, people are dying and all that shit, right? So, his daughter is fucking taken, and he's searching for her. But and along the way, as he's looking for her, I'm going to give you the very condensed version of my idea. And by the way, I don't care if somebody in fucking Hollywood takes this shit. I would definitely like to fucking see it. Obviously, I'm not a fucking movie director. I'm not fucking Harvey Weinstein over here. Whoa. Well, that was fucking cheesy. But I don't know. So he's looking for his fucking daughter. He's gotta, he's gotta kill people, obviously, or kill zombies and shit along the way. And and every now and then, as he's sort of searching for his daughter, he keeps having like these sort of like grainy like flashback of like gore and violence. It seems like kind of familiar. Like I've kind of like, oh, I've seen that. Like why does this shit look fucking familiar to me? But he can't quite fucking place it. And then when he finally finds his daughter, like eventually after all the fucking carnage and shit and the the flashbacks and all of that, he finally finds his daughter, and she's just basically been ripped to fucking pieces, right? And as he's like sitting there like fucking flipping out or just fucking being sad, because I imagine you'd be pretty fucking sad if you walked in and saw that your child had been ripped to pieces. He starts noticing, like he starts kind of seeing like objects and shit that were in his flashbacks. And he's just like, he can't quite fucking, like figure it out. And then, I don't know, somewhere in between when he's sort of losing his shit over losing his daughter, suddenly like all of the, he starts to kind of piece together, all of the fucking flashbacks and shit. And he realizes that he's the one that's responsible for all the gore, and that basically the last one of him, the last flashback is basically of him, the one that actually ripped his daughter to pieces, right? And then it's at that point where you realize that the entire movie that you've just watched is through the eyes of a fucking zombie. Doesn't that sound like a good fucking movie? I mean, if they could do it right. I know they tried to do that bullshit with, it was like a fucking zombie love story where the guy slowly fucking learns to talk. I mean, not cheesy shit like that. Although that movie was, it had its funny moments. But if it's told through, if it's more of like a horror film, right? And the whole time you're rooting on, like, you hope this guy finds his daughter. You're 100% behind him. There's a lot of fucking flashbacks and shit, so it keeps the story going. And then when he sees his daughter, you're like, oh, fuck, all that work and trouble and, and oh, he must be going through, fucking hell right now seeing this. And then to just have it just sort of fucking smack you in the face that the entire time you've been watching a zombie go through its fucking day. To me, that sounds like an awesome fucking movie. It's definitely a new take on things. I don't think there's another, zombie perspective type fucking movie out there. And even if there is, usually, at some point you're taken out of the fucking zombies' perspective and given the perspective of, somebody else. And, I don't know. Just to me, I mean, I don't know. Am I crazy? Does that not sound like a good fucking movie? I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Anyway, how long have I been talking? Almost 45 minutes. I think I'm going to end it here. It is Thursday, October fucking 19th, I think. Yeah, October 19th, 2017, for anybody listening to this shit in the future. Although why you would be listening to this, I don't know. Maybe I ended up on, I don't know, TMZ, the fucking guy that, wouldn't submit to the girl for, I don't know. I don't want to get back into that shit, If you're listening, I don't know. I stand firm with my point, but if I upset you, I apologize. But, I still, I'm not saying you're right. I'm just saying that, I don't like fucking pissing people off. I mean, I talk a lot of shit. I stand behind, the things that I fucking say. It's not like I'm just talking shit for, comedic value. But at the same time, I don't like fucking pissing people off. I don't like fucking upsetting people. If she genuinely felt, that she had been violated, I could have just kept my fucking mouth shut. I could have not said anything. I could have just let it be. I could have not been a cunt. I will admit that. But I don't feel like I'm wrong about you having some responsibility. So, I don't know. Anyway, if you're listening, and you're probably not, I assume some of your minions are. You let her know that, I don't know. You tell her whatever you want. I'm sure that you've already cooked up, your own fucking narrative that, here he is again, fucking not, he's abusing me, even though all I'm doing is disagreeing with you, I wasn't aware of the disagreeing. I'm getting right back into it. I'm going to stop here. Anyway, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I hope you're having a good week, or had a good week. It's almost the fucking weekend, right? But yeah, I'll try and get you guys another podcast tomorrow if I can. Hopefully I won't have to fucking spend about 20 minutes of it trying to explain why I'm not such a fucking cunt. But yeah, I'll try. But if I don't, then, fuck, I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll be back on fucking Tuesday. Alright, fucking, just like always, don't take any shit and go fuck yourself. Peace, bitches.